Ladies and gentlemen, what it do? I am your host, Young Bo Easy. And I would like to welcome you to the show, man. You are now tuned in to the Knicks vibes. You know what we're here for, baby. You know what we're here for. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your peoples, man. You know what the vibes is, man. Thank you to the new subscribers, man, and for the people that's returning. I'm truly grateful for you guys. You guys have no idea. But anyway, I hope you new subscribers continue this journey with us. And, you know what I'm saying? Share it with your peoples, even the returning guys. You know what I mean? But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we done had a game against the Brooklyn Nets. Ended up in the loss in Brooklyn, 115 to 122. Um, Tough game. And, you know, it's a tough game for us to lose, especially being a battle of the boroughs. This is an Atlantic Division foe that we've been, we got to see consistently every year. You know what I mean? It's no straying away from these guys. No matter what, you're going to run into the Brooklyn Nets, and this is a Brooklyn Nets that was down KD, no KD, and they were still able to pull out the win. All right, and so as we go through the show, you'll see why they were able to pull this off. But this game was pretty, shaky at the beginning. But ended in very, very dramatic fashion. Entertaining, kind of sickening as a Knicks fan. Uh, I know for Brooklyn fans, this must have been just wire to wire, a nice game, because they had full control of this game pretty much the whole time. The end of the game, we pretty much cut into the lead, and it felt like a certain point every time we was cutting into the lead, they would just hit a shot, big shot, and just get right back on top and make that deficit even worse. But we battled. We definitely came through fourth quarter, but they just put the finishing touches on it. And as we continue to go through this, I'll explain to you how that happened. But ladies and gentlemen, first off, I'm gonna jump right into the stats. We're gonna start off with our beloved New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. In 38 minutes, Julius Randle recorded 19 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 6 and 10 for Jericho Sims, 10 and 4 for Quentin Grimes, 26, 3 and 4 for Jalen Brunson, 16, 6 and 3 for Emmanuel Quickly, and then 8, 5 and 2 for Isaiah Hartenstein, who I thought gave us some very, very important buckets in the fourth quarter. I haven't been a fan of his game too much throughout the season, but I was just mentioning even the last show that I feel like when it's more blended with the bench and the bench is at full capacity, which I don't feel it's at 100% just yet. I'll give it like an 80%. I still feel like we need that 3-and-D player. But it just blends a little better. And his play continues to show that. It's not just, a decimated bench and it's just him and Quickly pretty much coming off of there. So in these last couple of games, he's looked a little better to me personally. All right, so what we're going to do is go into the Nets stat line. 14, 5 and 3 for Royce O'Neal, 16, 2 and 2 for Joe Harris, 13, 12 and 6 for Nick Claxton, 32, 6 and 9 for Kyrie Irving, 14, 1 and 3 for Seth Curry, 9, 2 and 2 for Yuta Watanabe. And that's pretty much the end of the sexy stats. But literally top to bottom, everyone that was, I don't, what is it like? So they, everyone that was like listed to play today on that team came through and scored a bucket and at least played 10 minutes. Like the only person that cracked 40 minutes is Kyrie Irving. This is just beautiful to see. Like, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players, and all of them at least played 10 minutes. This is what I'm talking about right here. Jacques Vaughn got my respect, and because this is how you coach. This is how you coach right here. This is how the minutes disparity is supposed to be spread out. You still got 5 people over 30 minutes, but that's pretty much your starters. But you got 17 minutes, 14, 13, 11, and 10 coming off that bench, man. And that's just beautifully spread out. All right. But before we get in further, you already know what the vibes is, man. If you've been tuned into the show, easy star the show. It's about time. It's been a little while. But my man Broadway Barrett came through. Coach K was in the crowd, so there's a bunch of Duke boys on the court and some even off the court. You had Seth Curry, you had Kyrie Irving, and of course you got my man RJ Barrett, aka Broadway Barrett, aka Call My Number 9. Listen, and you got Kim Reddish on the bench also, man. Only God knows why he's there. But hey, RJ Barrett, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 for 16 from the field, shooting a beautiful 56% from the field, and 3 for 5 from deep, 60%. Now, as this game is going through, you know RJ is giving you buckets, but it's not in beautiful fashion. So it's like the points kind of snuck up on you. You know what I'm saying? It's but the efficient basketball and him just having much better shot decisions uh, and knocking down these 3-pointers, man. He's been knocking down these 3-pointers a little bit more. Maybe I'm just lost in the moment, but I feel like he's been a little more consistent with these 3-pointers as of late. And coming from RJ, that's a really, really good look. All right, you could say whatever you want about RJ, but just speaking on this game and how he's been consistently, it's been pretty good, and he's been picking out his matchups with a keen eye and knowing that, okay, if I got this mismatch in the paint, I could go and I'm cutting to the basket, or much better shot selection, and that's something that definitely you want to see from RJ, and then even shots off the dribble. That's something I feel like he should be incorporating into his game as his career continues to progress. Year 4, that's something we felt like we should have been seeing as of now. But you saw a nice little pop-up 3 off the dribble and knocked it down, man. So that's the type of stuff that we want to see from RJ Barrett, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, you already know what the vibes is right here, man. Easy star of the show, RJ Barrett, man. Call my number 9. It's about time my man got one of these star of the show accolades, man. I felt like Brunson and Julius is running the show. Emmanuel, quickly, I want to give a shout out to, man. He had a great game today. He's been playing really, really phenomenal as of late, man. And he's somewhat been in trade talks, but then his name got taken out of that, and it's like you never know. It's still a business at the end of the day, so you never know how things are going to turn out. All right, but let's take it to the next segment of the show, the takeaways. All right, listen, man. We in Brooklyn, and I'm a fan of a Brooklyn native. So the first one is dig a hole. All right, you know what I'm saying. And I speak of Jay-Z when I say Brooklyn native. You know what I'm saying. And dig a hole is the first takeaway. Pretty much what we did to start this game. You know what I'm saying? Pardon me. All right. I don't know what that was about. But, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know what dig a hole is, by the way, you know what I'm saying? You need to check the history. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here, my friend. You know, the Costa Bear. I'm like, that's why they call you Hove. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, little shots go through. Won't tear one tissue, no tears, no tissue. Not an issue. Come on, dog. Listen, man. This dig a hole. And we buried ourselves early in this game. Very, very early in this game, we let ourselves just get really, really down. I'm talking like with 4 minutes left in the first quarter, we only had 12 points. So it was really, really hard to get buckets, and the Nets were percolating. You know what I'm saying? They could have took us out really, really. They could have had us gone in that first quarter. So, our defense saved us on a couple possessions and things of that nature, but we still dug a hole and we couldn't really get into it up until we were chipping away at it late third. And when you playing against a team like this, you can't afford that. You can't afford that. And they don't even have KD. You know what I'm saying? I felt like the way the game was looking for 2.5 quarters, I'm like, this team is not 18, 19 points better than us with with without KD. You know what I'm saying? I would say outside of Kyrie, Joe Harris, and even and Seth Curry. I'll put some respect on Seth Curry's name. This is a team with a bunch of 70 to 75 overalls. If we're talking about 2K, this is literally 70 to 75 overall on 2K. Sumner, like Sharp, I believe Davon Sharp is it? Uh, who else? Watanabe. These are legit 70 overalls. Cam Thomas, he's not cracking 75. Patty Mills, like 75 overalls down the board. And then you got Claxton, Royce O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? You could probably give Royce O'Neal like a 76, 77. All right? But you get the point. This is 70 overalls. Like these dudes are not that nice. And I'm like, this team is not 19 points better than us. So we cut that deficit and lost the game by 5 points, 7 points. That's more like it if we're gonna lose to a KD list Nets. But I think it's because we dug a hole in that first quarter. We came through and we fought back. You got to give the Knicks credit for that. Um, this isn't necessarily a game that you put your head down over, but at the same time, it's just like, man, you got to come to play. We were going and they even said it. They said you going to, you know, close out on these corner threes half-ass, and you do half-ass stuff, you're going to get half-ass results. You know what I mean? That's just the facts. We got to run out with conviction. You know what I'm saying? Like we trying to win these games, and you going against a top hitter in the Eastern Conference without their best player, bro. Like, and going into this game, they probably still had us, on the whatever it is. I don't really do the gambling stuff, but the over and unders and all that stuff. We was probably still the underdog coming into this game. I don't think anybody expected us to be down 15 plus or something like that, but we probably still went into this game the over under, like the underdog on the over and under. So it's just you still got to come through with a purpose and deliver on these games. And if they're gonna beat y'all, cool, but just come out and have some conviction with these closeouts, especially when defense is a crazy important part to our game as a whole. All right, and we know we do our thing with the offensive boards. We showed out with the boards. They first quarter, 1.5 quarters, I felt like they was attacking the boards a little stronger than us, and we were able to clean that up and what I'm saying, pretty much keep the trend going of what we've been doing all season, getting offensive boards and then just getting rebounds as a whole. I believe the discrepancy there was 10 points, and that could take me into my next takeaway, which is another great slogan of my man Hove, the Brooklyn native: "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't." 53% to our 51% field goal percentage, but we shot 36% from deep. They shot 55. Anytime you letting a team shoot 55% and make 22 threes, that is not a good look. Threes alone, they had 66 points. That's no good. That is no good. You know what I'm saying? And then we beat them as far as their free throw disparity. 57% is what they shot to our 79%. And that's because you got to do like Nick Claxton on the other side. But 31 assists is crazy. And that's another thing where we need to figure like what is like, because this was the thing why it wasn't entertaining as some other games. Like the Boston game was very, very entertaining. Why wasn't that entertaining to me? This game, it was ISO against like old school San Antonio Spurs basketball. The ball was moving, and when it got to our side, it was ISO, and then maybe one or two cuts. If we can't figure out the cut, we just get one shot, and that's it. It was literally ISO ball versus ridiculous ball movement. Like multiple possessions, all five people touched the ball on the net side. And it shows because they got 31 assists to our 19. I'm 19 assists is cool. But when you still are down 12 in the assist disparity, is something is going on. Like something is going wrong. 31 assists and that ended up with 122 points. Bro, they were moving the rock beautifully. Beautifully. All right. We won the rebound disparity, as I stated before, plus 10, 14 offensive rebounds. Everything else is pretty much even, but you letting the team get 31 assists. They have limited turnovers and hit 22 threes. It's no good. It's no good. It's a recipe for disaster. Surprisingly, this game was still close, so that kudos to us there also. Next up is reality check. You know, we've won some games against perennial stars, like all stars and superstars. We've won some games. We've pulled out the games against as of late. We've played Boston, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and we played Donovan Mitchell. So we are able to pull out some games, but then you think of the game like against the Bucks. You think of the games like where RJ had a great game, but DeRozan came through and knocked down the game late. And you get a reality check when you play certain players that are not just all-star, but superstars, that you don't have one. You do not have one on your team. You got these perennial all-stars. You got dudes that could possibly be multiple-time all-stars. This would be Jalen Brunson's first appearance. This would be Julius Randle's second time if they make it. But you get a reality check when you play these dudes that are next level, that are box office. And it constantly just reminds you that no matter how good you're playing, no matter what the seedings say, you cannot break this barrier of no man's land, which is where we are at as far as this seeding stuff goes, because you're not competing for a championship necessarily. You're flirting with the first round, second round, but nobody is even thinking of seeing you exceed that second round. And you're not getting a lottery pick. There is a barrier, and that is only broken by having a star, a superstar, such as Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving had 7 points first quarter, 4 points second quarter. He didn't score in the third. It looked like what I would do with my 2K point guards. I would just try to set my team up. If the game was even, I'm just doing my thing and making sure these dudes get hot. So when I need them in the fourth, I could still go to them and they're hitting shots because they gotten warm already. But then he scores 20 points, 22 I believe exact, or 21 points in the fourth quarter. Carries the load, pretty much dolo, and took us out. Took us out. Every time we responded, Kyrie had something to say about it. He came through with a bucket for them. This dude, and I'm not the hugest, I'm not the biggest Kyrie fan because of his history. I don't feel like he was always the player to make people better. And even when he had a chance to be on the Knicks, I wasn't necessarily. I was more, let's get KD and Kemba. That's where I was. Um, but since this whole, I don't want to get too political and away from basketball, but since the whole situation he had at the beginning of this season, Kyrie has come back and you could just see he wants to play basketball. And he's doing everything a leader would do for this team. The, like I'm watching him sit down on defense and put the utmost effort out there, and that's not something I was seeing from Kyrie before. This is a brand new Kyrie, and he doesn't need to go. We Anybody knows he can go out there and get 40 almost willingly. He's he's not in a rush to do that. Let's get this team. He's playing team basketball. He's making his teammates better. What? Yes, 9 assists today, 6 rebounds, a complete game. He's making everyone better. And still, when it's time, he can go out there and be Kyrie Irving. The jersey's untucked, and it's time to go to work. So, kudos to Kyrie Irving. And with that said, I'm going to take it into the last takeaway and bring it to the main screen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired. I'm tired. This isn't one of those games where you hang your head as far as just in general. But you got to look at this big picture wise. You know what I'm saying? When you zoomed in, it's like, all right, cool. We competed. We came through and we gave them a run. But when you look at it big picture now, that's where I'm at. I'm tired of losing to this team year after year. I don't remember in the past 3 years us beating this team. I think it's been 11 games in a row now, something like that. I think since KD came, we haven't beat these guys. And it'll always be close games. It is always 9 out of 10 times a close game. We've had games where they called BS fouls on us, like in final minutes, and then they win the game by like 2 or 3. It's never like it's. I think it was only 1 or 2 times in the past couple of years that they beat us by like a blowout, like plus 10. I'm always remembering close games against these guys, and we need a breakthrough because I'm tired. I'm literally tired of not only, and I say that because this is the standard. This is the standard. This team, Boston, Philly, those 3 guys are the standard. I don't like the Bucks and the Cavs, cool. But those 3 guys to me are the standard. Boston, Philly, and the Nets are the standard of what you gotta compete against time after time after time. And ironically, all 3 of those guys are in our division. All 3 of those guys are in our division. The only ones left is Toronto, and even them we struggle against. So we need to get out of no man's land, and we need to crack the barrier and get to a point where we are top 3. And it needs to happen now. We either need to, like, Chicago is in shambles. I don't want to make a trade just to be desperate, but we either need to go get a Zach LaVine, who we know can almost, you could just tell he needs a change of scenery. The only thing that scares me when it comes to Zach is the injuries. But you need to go over there and get a change of give this man a change of scenery. He's the type of guy that New York would embrace. Or do you wait till next season and see if Phoenix finally does the right move and blow this thing up so you could make a run at Devin Booker? Because you got picks out the wazoo and nobody knows what you are prepared to do with them. We need to clean this bench up. But that's something that could be done in the next couple of days. They keep saying Reddish could be traded in the next week or whatever the case. This He was supposed to be traded months ago. I don't know if they wait until like the last possible minute to see, okay, like these are the best offers we got. Let's go with this one. Bro, like some games are being decided because you haven't made a move yet to clean up this bench. We got to do something. And then we need to make a push for somebody who is almost a guaranteed 25, 30. Other than that, why you got these picks? It's not in the draft, especially where we're going to be landing with the 14s, 15s, 16s around that area. This player is not in the draft. The 23 draft is pretty nice, but we're not. I haven't even been looking at that side yet to see what it's looking like mid draft. But still, 9 times out of 10, it's not in the draft. You got to make a run at a player. You got performances tonight like a Joel Embiid, which lets you know this dude is staying. This dude is staying, and everybody's looking at James Harden like, all right, maybe this dude needs to stay also. What move are you making? What do you make? What move are you making? We either need to make a move for Levine, because I don't see anybody else necessarily on the market, or we need to wait and test this. Just go out there and make this first round slump, or possibly flirt with a second round, and hope that Phoenix breaks it up and throw every pick at them. That's my theory. If I'm GM, that's the way I'm looking at things right now. Because I don't see an SGA moving. I don't see anyone else necessarily moving. I feel like the next two Trey, you talking about Trae Young, we just got Brunson. They're not making that move. The only people I see possibly on the move soon is Zach LaVine and Devin Booker as far as stars. Those are the only two guys that I see. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my spiel for today, man. You've been tuned into the Knicks Vibes. I'm your host, Young, Bo, Easy. I hope you enjoyed the show, man. I definitely enjoyed it. This game was pretty good. Not too much to hang your head on, but when you look at it big picture wise, hopefully you can see it how I'm seeing it. And I know, Knicks fans know basketball. So I know a lot of people are going to agree with what I'm saying. So that's just the facts. That's just the facts. All right. You already know what the vibes is on this side, man. Love, gratitude, positive attitude. And I'll catch you on the next one.